So hello and welcome to the 2023 UCI BMX Racing World Cup with me, Matt Payne.
And me, Rich Eames.
We're going to be bringing you all of the action across today's round number one here in Sakarya in Turkey. We've got some great action coming up for you, and it has been a very interesting set of runs in Heat 1 and Last Chances. Rich and I have been glued to that, but before we take a look at that action, let's take a look out and around the area where we are today. So here in Sakarya, it's an amazing venue based here in Turkey. It's a vibrant city and it's an area that's great for biking. So whether you want to go out and ride on your mountain bike in amongst the mountains, whether you want to follow out on the trails, you want to head out, whatever your sport, it's a fantastic area to be in. Make sure you put it on your bucket list.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, here we are, overlooking the track now. It's a balmy 20 degrees, 16km/h wind. It's been a little bit wet and rainy here today, Matt. Certainly not your typical Turkish weather.
It's definitely not your typical Turkish weather. I've had the pleasure of commentating on lots of different events here in Turkey, in Sakarya, including the Eliminator. It's been very, very, very hot normally and blazingly sunny, not today, and that is going to affect things for sure. Now, we have, of course, got lots of riders making the way here, but this is round number one, so maybe let's take us a little bit of a look back to the 2022 overall Cup winners, Rich.
Yep, the standings, it's certainly been very interesting with the standings, that is from last year. The women under 23, Veronika Stariska taking that win. She came through quite well in the latter part of the season. Aiko Gomez in 2, Talia Burford in 3, Kanami Tano inside the top 4, Francesca Singolani in 5, Mackenzie Gayhart in 6, Maylene Sorensen, a rider to watch, in 7, and Molly Simpson of Canada in 8.
So some fantastic riders, and it's going to be really interesting, isn't it? We've got the men's under 23 standings up here, and the men's under 23 slightly different, isn't it? Because I think some changes.
Yeah, some changes. Leo Garoyan's moved up to elite men, so that's going to make things very interesting as everybody else comes through. Rico Berman took that second spot. Tatiana Louis Hinsan rounding out the top 3, and Dylan Gober in there in 4, but certainly that category dominated by the French.
And then we move on to our elite riders. The women's dominated by the woman who seems to have taken away pretty much everything. I mean, she's absolutely flying. She may not be the queen, but surely she's the queen in waiting.
Yeah, Laura Smulders, 27 World Cup wins. I'm sure she'll be looking for 28 today.
Well, we will see. And of course, in the men's standings, the nation with more than anybody else in there, France, I mean, dominant.
Yeah, Sylvain Andre, Jeremy Rencarel and Joris Dode, 3 out of the top 8 in the men's elite.
Well, let's have a look at some of those riders and what's up and coming.
Yeah, well, the riders to watch out for, the first of them is Emily Hutt of Great Britain, capable of strong starts, aggressive in turns with bike handling skills as well. Emily's looking to make her mark in the under 23 women category this year, and Leo Garayan, he shook up the men's under 23 class in 2022, culminating in an emotional World Championship win on home soil in France. He's making that move to elite men for 2023, so watch out for some fast French fireworks this season. Maylene Sorensen of Denmark dominated the women under 23 class in 2022 with wins in the World Cup and the World Championships, and now she's got the best of the best to contend with in women elites. Cameron Wood of the USA had his first World Cup win in Bogota in 2022. He's already making headlines in the USA BMX Pro Series this year, and he won't be backing down against the best in the world as he looks to add to his record. And that's the best of who to look out for in 2023.
And we're going to see them in action very shortly. We're just looking down on the track, Rich. It has been wet, and I think that predominantly has got to be the thing that people need to bear in mind. But we are going to go straight into our women's under 23 quarterfinals, heat number 1. Take us through the riders, Rich.
Yeah, Tessa Martinez, Aiko Gomez, Eliska Bartonkova, Amber Walravens, Sabina Korsakova, Robin Gomez, sister of Aiko, and Kira Murphy of Canada lining up for the first of the quarterfinals in women under 23. So those 8 riders lined up on the gate. Tessa Martinez with the prime pick on the inside. She had first pick, and Aiko Gomez right there next to her as well.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
So as the gate drops here in Turkey, quarter-final number 1 underway for the women under 23. Looks like Gomez and Bartonkova are heading into that first turn. Tessa Martinez picking up the whole shot. In and out she goes down that second straight. They're looking pretty even. Amber Walravens has got a little bit of work to do. The Gomez sisters are 3 and 4 at the moment, so it's looking good for them. In and out of the corner, it is still Tessa Martinez of France out there in front, covering the inside as she comes down towards the final turn. Bartonkova in 2, Aiko Gomez in 3, Sabina Korsakova in there in 4. So the Czech Republic having a really good run in this one as they bring it to the line. Martinez is going to get it. She crosses that line in first. Bartonkova in second, Aiko Gomez in third, Sabina Korsakova in 4, Matt.
And of course, what we need to remember is the key thing about going forward. How many riders go through per?
Yeah, 4 going through, 4 going out, Matt, in this one. It's that's the knockout rounds as we go now to the replay. And it is Tessa Martinez. She had this one under control as she went into that first turn, and she had pressure from the Czech rider as they came down to the second corner. And you can see Korsakova desperately looking for a move as Gomez just settled herself into that third spot. And it was Robin Gomez who was in 5, sister of Aiko. She was just on the outside looking in. She'd left herself a little bit too much to do. Meanwhile, Tessa Martinez out in front, in control, took it to the line. Quarter-final win for her and a good gate pick in the semi.
And that's going to be critical, coming through in that top spot, and that's why our riders continue to fight, even beyond being in that 4th, 5th division battle there. You can see our 4 qualifiers going through, 3 riders not making it onwards. So that's heat 1 done and dusted. Let's move on to heat number 2. Our riders on the screen. Your pick out of these, Rich?
Yeah, definitely keep an eye on Michelle Vissing and Dewey Abuta and Megan Williams of New Zealand as well. I think those are the 3 of the riders who will definitely end up in the top 4, but it's BMX, Matt, and anything can happen.
That's what we love about BMX. It is certainly the case. The riders lined up in the gate. The riders just making sure they're clipped in, being watched by our commissaire team here. They're the race referees in BMX. They're going to be making sure that everybody follows the rules.
Yeah, Michelle Vissing there on the inside.
Okay,
Just getting ready to go.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
So here we go, quarter-final number 2, Michelle Vissing on the inside, but it looks like Dominica Mora Cadero is going to be the rider into that first turn. And Michelle Vissing still there in 2, Dewey Abuta in 3, Paula Kibari. She's got a little bit of work to do at the moment, and Set Your Booty out of Thailand in there as well. So into the second turn and out Mercado, still hanging on to it, the Colombian rider, but Michelle Vissing is chasing her down through that third straight. And here comes Dewey Abuta just moving across to the inside to cover that line and hold on to that third spot. And as they come down the final straight, Colombia under pressure now. Michelle Vissing pushing to the line. Is she going to get it? I think she did. Michelle Vissing taking the win. Mercado in 2, Yabuta in 3. Megan Williams, I said she was one to look out for, Matt, taking that 4th spot.
Great picks by Richard there on the way through, and you could just see, I mean, from the start here, Rich, this is a cracking move across, as you can just see, coming from third pick in gates, comes diving across, takes that line, and not challenged until she came into that final straight. Really interesting to see. She comes round that left-hand turn. She held the line and couldn't quite match Vissing in that sprint. Is that going to give us an indicator for later?
It just depends how they, finish up and how much lactic acid they've got in the legs as they get towards the end of the day. But Michelle Vissing confirmed as taking the win. Mercado in 2, Yabusa in 3, Megan Williams in 4.
So that is the second of our quarterfinals done. Let's move on to heat number 3. And we have 6 riders in here. Rich, who are we looking out for?
Yeah, one of the riders to look out for in 2023, Emily Hutt of Great Britain. Certainly building her engine up there in Manchester, doing what needs to be done. And let's see if she can take it one step further after this lap.
So you can just see Hutt lined up, second from left on her left, as it's second from the right as we look at them. Over to Rich.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
And right next to Emily Hutt in that gate, we've got the current World Cup champion, and that is Veronika Stariska from Latvia. But look who's moving across as well. Indy Schiepers from the Netherlands, but Stariska holding on to the lead now as they come out of that first turn. Emily Hutt back there in 5, so she's really got some work to do now if she wants to be inside the top 4. Stariska, Schiepers, Hutt, Walker, Layla Walker of New Zealand, she's in there as well, but Stariska is in control, picking up from where she left off at the end of the World Cup season last year. And as they go in and out of the turn, Stariska in control. As Emily Hutt got what it takes down the final straight, she might have just left it a bit too late. Stariska straight across the line. Looks like Emily Hutt is going out early doors. Sheepers in 2, Walker in 3, Manikova coming through with a late charge for 4.
Well, a bit of an upset in that heat, and that was all down. There was a run wide on that final turn.
Yeah, she ran wide on that final turn. I mean, Emily Hutt got a great start. Indy Schiepers came across, and Stariska holding that line into the turn. I think it was Manikova who was diving underneath and making her move, which pushed Emily Hutt back a little bit. Stariska, though, no such problems as she brought it to the line, and Emily knew it was over at that point. She's going to have to come back in the next round and try again.
Remember, we have our next round on the shows that we're going to be looking forward to putting the action, but at the moment, focusing on our under-23 women's quarterfinals. Heat number 3 is done. We move on to heat number 4, your start list in front of you, and I think this could be a really close heat here, Rich.
Yeah, you've got Mackenzie Gayhart, aka Skittles, and Valerie Vossen in this one. These 2 riders very evenly matched, so it'll be interesting to see how this lap turns out.
Well, let's keep our eye on the action. The riders waiting. Very interesting to watch that body language as they're lined up on the gate.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Yeah, so we're keeping our eye on the 2 riders on the inside, but the rider coming across from gate number 4, that was Renske van Zandvoort from the Netherlands. She's made an early move and picked up that hole shot. She's, riders going down, and I think it was Mackenzie Gayhart who hit the deck, so the USA rider is definitely out to this one. And it's Van Zandvoort leading out at the moment. The Colombian rider in there in 2, that's Isabella Carranza Lopez. She's in that second position, and Valerie Vossen holding on in that 4th spot. There's 4 riders going through, and there's only 4 of them left on track right now. So Mackenzie Gayhart's day ends early, but Renske van Zandvoort of the Netherlands bringing it to the line. She's going to pick up this quarterfinal win. Everybody going through. Zoe Hapker, I think, in there as well. But yeah, disappointment for Mackenzie Gayhart.
Well, that looked like just one of those racing incidents where you're going to get contact, but everybody started running up, and when you're in that position, you're not sure how far you're going to push, and you can see our rider from Italy just rolling around in. Let's play this back. Let's have a look at this. Rich, tell us what went wrong.
Yeah, it was on Renske van Zandvoort into the corner, and I think if you look at this as Mackenzie tries to go underneath, she just bobbles, touches elbows with Singolani, and that was enough to spit her off the front of the bike, and her day was over right there. And then you can see she was holding her hip, and it's hard when you hit the deck in these turns here at Sakarya. It's it's not an easy one when you hit the floor.
So we have our women's under-23 quarterfinals done and dusted. You can see a relatively straightforward qualification. Certainly the time tells you everything you need to know, and that's how long it takes to pick yourself back up, dust yourself down and roll in. It's time to get some recovery done, get the ice packs on. So our women's under-23 quarterfinals looks like we are done and dusted. Really interesting to see how the riders deal with the track. We're going to move on to our men's under 23 quarterfinals. We're going to kick off with heat number 1. And this really is a different race field, isn't it, Rich, this year? It's a different complexion.
Yeah, you've definitely got to look at riders like Callum Russell out of Great Britain. You've got the former junior men world champion Marco Radaelli in there, and Braden Kemple from the USA, who raced a European Cup round in the Czech Republic just last weekend. So he's certainly made the most of his European trip, and you can just see him there right in the middle of the shot. So let's see if Braden Kemple can make some moves in the quarterfinals of under 23 men.
Random start. Rider is ready. Watch the gate.
So you've got Steiner and Radaelli on the inside, and Radaelli's already been cut off. The US rider moving across. It is Kemple. Is he going to get into that first turn first? No, he's been shuffled up. He's back there in 4 right now, but the rider leading it out is Steiner. You've got Spencer Cole in there for the USA as well, so the USA well represented in this men's under 23 final. Steiner still leading it out. The Swiss rider, Perrin of France, in there inside the top 4, but Steiner and Cole and Kemple, that's your 1, 2, 3 right now as they come into the final straight. The looking pretty settled. Steiner's going to get the win. Cole's going to get the 2. Kemple's going to get the 3. Big drag race for 4. Who got that one on the line? Perrin just, and Marco Radaelli, he's out early doors.
So that's a disappointment for Radaelli. He was closing in, and he never gave up until the line. You can see him pushing right in to the finish there, and that really was a big push. Take us through this, Rich. It was not clear cut until we came really over the line for that 4th place.
Yeah, I was looking for Callum Russell. He was right in there at the start of it. Oh, and the foot came out of the pedal, and that's what happened to the Great Britain rider. I was looking for him to come through because he really does have some good skills in the pack. Steiner out in front. Radaelli was right back there in 5, courtesy of that start that he got, and he didn't get the one that he wanted, but still, he's going to have to come back and try in the next round.
So our riders are looking to score those points to be as far up in those World Cup standings as they can. Your results in front of you, your 4 qualifiers headed by Steiner, who came over the line first, and that game really important. Unfortunately, of course, that means that the day's done for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th places. So heat 1 done. We're going to move on to heat number 2. So the second of our quarterfinals, and another jam-packed field here. Any particular rider here that you think is going to suit this track, Rich?
Yeah, Tatiana Louis Hinsan out of France. As you can see, the under-23 category is so heavily stacked with French riders. You'd be a fool to bet against them. And Tatiana Louis Hinsan, he's been junior world champion before now. You can never count him out. I'm expecting some big things from him. He's right there in the middle of the shot. Keep an eye on that rider.
Okay, riders, random start. Rider is ready. Watch the gate.
So you've got Tatiana Louis Hinsan in gate number 6. Oh, he just paused as he came out of that gate. Matteo Kolstner, he got cut off as well. So it looks like Neusel on the inside. Marek Neusel of the Czech Republic. He had a great one last weekend in the European Cup round. Tatiana Louis Hinsan's in there in 2. Gasparoli in 3. There's been all kinds of action in turn number 1. Cantiero of Italy back there in 4. But the front 3 are out and clear. Marek Neusel of the Czech Republic looking good. Tatiana Louis Hinsan, is he lining him up for a move in that turn? Can't quite make it stick. Maybe he knows he's safe and he's conserving energy for this one, but Mazel Norre, he's going to take it to the line. Goes through. Tatiana Louis Hinsan in 3, Gasparoli in 4, and Jason Nordam holding on as well.
Well, great choice there from Rich, going with that with Hinsan as he came in at 3, came into 2nd place there, and the Czech rider really didn't put a foot wrong there. It looked like a really calm ride by him.
Yeah, he did. He rode really well. I was very surprised that Matteo Kolstner didn't quite get out of the gate because he's known for some blistering starts. Oh, his foot came out of the pedal. That's exactly what happened. Just caught that one on the replay, and as they went into turn number 1, oh, one rider slid out, took another one with him and another one, so that's what happened there. We didn't quite catch that the first time around, but Marek Neusel, no such problems for him. Out there in front, Tatiana Louis Hinsan, former junior world champion, sat there, the Italian rider in 3, and Jason Nordam must just be relieved to get through the carnage.
Well, some days that you are the flying, some days you're the windshield, and today you're going to need windscreen wipers on your windshield. It's still damp on that track, isn't it, Rich? And Is that playing into what's happening? You can just see the damp on the corner there as we get the results confirmed with Noisel taking the win there. Nordam coming through in fourth place. So it looks like confirmed by the race referees, by the commissaires who are checking all those results. But that turn could well be taking its effect. Let's have a look and see what happens in the third of our quarterfinals. And Rich, in this race, in this heat, you've got to say, I think this is going to be very close at the front.
Yeah, it is. You've got the former European champion Hugo Marzlek in there, Casper Pipers as well from the Netherlands. And keep an eye on Maurizio Molina Vergara. He got into that battle with Leo Garayan in the World Championships last year. He's got some power, the Chilean rider. Expect him to be up there or thereabouts in this particular race.
Well, it's definitely Chile for Turkey. Will it be Chile for the Chilean rider? Will he be ice cold as he comes into the turns? Riders lined up and ready to go. You can see the team being washed like hawks as they go into that first turn.
Okay, riders.
Yep, all ready to go. Let's see what happens.
Riders ready. Watch the gate.
Right, as they come down the hill, Piper's got a good start, but look at Molina right there in the middle with Mars. Like I said, keep your eye on those two in this moto. And here we go. Oh, Casper Piper's getting in there as well. And we've got Tim Goossens in the mix also for the Netherlands, but it's Hugo Marzlek out in front in the European Champions jersey. In and out of that corner, the Dutch are going 2 and 4, and the rider in the middle can't quite pick up who that was. It was Skursbeck out of Germany, so not sure what's happened to Molina because he started really, really well. But Marzlek is going to bring it to the line, take the win in this quarterfinal. Marzlek's going to get it. The Dutch are going to get 2 riders in, I think. Pipers, Goose, Skursbeck, and Cutter Williams was the unlucky man in that 5th spot.
Not to be Williams' day, of course. The results yet to be confirmed. We'll see those as they come up on our screens. And Rich, you can just see in every dip here, we've got water laying down on the track. You can see it in every well, and that's going to take its effect. Take us through this heat.
Yeah, it started well for Maurizio Molina, the Chilean rider, in that red kit there as they went into the turn. He got pushed a little bit high up the turn by Pipers. That might have just cost him a little bit of momentum. Justin Cutter Williams was in there in 5, chasing down Tim Goossens, and it was the German rider Skursbeck who crept into that 3rd spot. He got himself through to the next round. Cutter Williams, James Cutter Williams, the unlucky rider in the 5th position.
So here we go, the confirmed results in front of you. You can see that Williams into 5th place. So his racing done for today. He can try again in our next round, which leaves us one more of our men's under 23 quarterfinals here at the UCI BMX Racing World Cup here in Sakarya in Turkey. And a full field here. And you got to say, you wouldn't want to be a New Zealand rider in here because it's very much up against your teammates.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly, if there's some action in the turns and the elbows start flying, then it could make for an awkward conversation in the team tent later on. But certainly, keep an eye on Rico Bierman and also up-and-coming YouTube star Drew Polt from the USA. 2 riders to watch in quarterfinal number 4. Right. Oh, let's see what's going on over there. Looks like there's a little bit of a mix-up. I've got a feeling there might be a mechanical going on there because the riders were getting shuffled around.
So if a rider has a mechanical, are they taken out? Rich, let's explain to people what happens.
Yeah, they've got a time frame to get the bike, set and ready to go again. I think it's 10 minutes, I think, if I remember correctly. But certainly the team mechanic will be up there, be giving it their all, just trying to make sure that the bike is ready to go. As Commissaire Ria Goodman there, just making some careful notes. As we move on, it looks like we've gone to Women Elite, so there was definitely a mechanical up there. So we've moved on to Women Elite, quarterfinal number 1. I can see Laura Smulders up there. Okay, yeah, certainly looks like we've had an issue that needs resolving. So we're moving on. Women Elite, quarterfinal number 1, Laura Smulders, Zoe Claessens, Elise Willoughby, Augustina Cavalli in there as well, Nadine Eberhard, Saya Takayama, and Gabriela Ballet Carrillo, all lined up. Quarterfinal number 1 for the Elite women. I think this is going to be a banger of a lap.
And Smulders really is the rider to beat of the riders in there, but it could be anybody's.
Yeah, you could. You've got 10-time USA BMX Pro champion Elise Willoughby in there as well. Former European champion Zoe Claessens, and don't count out the likes of Saya Takayama as well.
Well, let's see who it will be. Our riders getting ready
Okay,
for
riders,
the
random start.
start here. Let's get on
Riders
with
ready,
our
watch the gate.
women's competition.
Right, Elise Willoughby known for a really good first straights, and she's certainly making it pay in this one, just moving across to the front of Laura Smulders, who's worked her way into that second spot. Oh, one rider's lost it. That looks like the Colombian rider, Carrillo. So she's down. Her race is over. So it's Willoughby, Smulders, 1 and 2. Who's got the 3? Zoe Clayson's in there as well in that third spot. That looks like Nadine Eberhard in there in 4. So the Swiss have got 2 riders looking to go through to those semi-finals. And Smulders is making a move now, steals the lead away from Willoughby. So Smulders holding on to the lead. She wants that gate choice going into that semi-final. Smulders takes the win. Willoughby into Zoe Clayson's. Oh, she pinched it at the line. I thought Willoughby had nicked that second spot. Nadine Eberhard in there in 4. Great lap for the Swiss.
And only 600ths of a second separating second and third place there. Very, very close indeed. Let's take a look back at this. And this crushed by the Colombian rider. How she didn't take anybody out. She threaded the needle on basically on her side.
Yeah, she dived underneath. It looked like she just lost grip for a split second, and then it high-sided her, which sent her the other way. You've got no choice. You're a passenger at that point, Matt. And meanwhile, Smulders was stealing the lead away from Elise Willoughby. Willoughby in there in 2. Zoe Clayson's in 3. Nadine Eberhard in 4. That's a great result for Switzerland.
Yeah, and Smulders looked like she could place that bike where she wanted.
Absolutely.
On that track. She made her move where she wanted to go through, and in the end, it was half a second difference.
Yeah. So there's your results. Smulders, Clayson's, Willoughby, Eberhard confirmed as going through. Saya Takayama of Japan, she'll be a little bit disappointed to not make it through to the semi-final round.
Well, you can see we're going to move on to the second of our heats here. And out of these riders, dark horse pick this time round. We're going to really make you earn your money today.
Well, it's nice to see Saya Sakakibara in there. She's certainly in a rich vein of form at the minute. She's taken her first USA BMX Pro Series win recently. And you've got Maylene Kelstrup in there as well. Maylene, you know, she was the under-23 women's world champion last year.
So let's see who's going to take this out. Will it be Rich's prediction?
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
So it's Kakibara and Kelstrup on the inside. Talia Burford got a great start as well. And moving across is Judy Bow out of the Netherlands. She's just nestled inside the top 4, but it's Kelstrup out there in the lead. The women's under-23 world champion from 2022. Sayas Kakibara right there in that second spot. And the other rider going through is, I think, Charlotte Moreau in that third spot, doing it for France. So Camille Murr, I do apologise. Delaney Vaughan of the USA in there in 4. Her bike went missing earlier in the week, courtesy of the airlines. Good to see she's got it back, and she's going to take that ride. Now she's got it, cross the line, inside the top 4. No problems there. But yeah, disappointment for Judy Bow and Talia Burford.
So the riders in over the line, complete job done there. And the earlier incident of losing the bike, I mean, that could put some riders off, but cool head. Let's watch the race back here. And you can just see, just rolled wide there, totally in control and not really challenged at all.
No, Camille Murr, great first corner from her. She carved that one really, really well, and it slotted her into that third spot. Delaney Vaughan was in there in 4, but Maylene Kelstrup of Denmark, look at her, in control in this one. Sayas Kakibara, happy there in that second spot. Camille Murr in 3.
So the weather just slowly drying up here as we work our way through the Women's Elite quarterfinals. Your results are from the second of those quarterfinals. And as you can see, it's Moffat, Burford and Bow who are out. They're not going to be competing again today. They've now got to recover, reset, and get ready for the next round. So heat 2 done and dusted. That means we're going to move on to number 3. And as you can see, 6 riders on the start line. Rich, this could be really tight. Is it easy with 6 riders?
I think it's as hard with 6 as it is with 8. When you look at the riders who were on there, you've got double Olympic champion Mariana Pajon, current world champion Felicia Stansel in there as well, Olympic bronze medalist Merrill Smulders. There's no easy laps in BMX. 6, 7, 8 riders, it really doesn't matter. It's just going to be all action.
And you always know you're up against it when the world champion is there in those iconic rainbow stripes. Our riders are ready to go. Let's get to the action.
So double Olympic champion Mariana Pajon on the inside, but it looks like Felicia Stansel's got a great start. Is she going to be able to pick off the lead into that turn? Elke van Hoof inside the top 4 now, and Merrill Smulders diving underneath. So Stansel in there in that second spot, but it's the queen bee of BMX, Mariana Pajon out of Colombia, double Olympic champion, and she's out in front looking very good and in control. Also in there as well, you've got Lexis Colby of the USA. I think she's in there in 3 right now, in and out of that final turn. Smulders in 4, but she's under pressure from Van Hoof as they come down the straight. Mariana Pajon taking the win, Stansel in 2. Who's going to get the 3 and the 4? Smulders with a late charge. Sure, she took that 3rd, but there's a photo finish between Lexis Colby and Elke van Hoof. What action in this quarterfinal.
And how close it was at that. Let's watch this back. You can just see from the start, you can see that I was coming in here. She wanted that line and she was going to hold it, and of course then able to shut the door really on the world champion.
Yeah, all the action was going on behind. Merrill Smulders dived low in that first turn. You can see her searching for the move as they come into the corners, and she wasn't even done when they got to the last turn because she ducked underneath Lexis Colby. Lexis Colby made a mistake. That allowed Smulders to get alongside. Elke van Hoof was creeping up as well. We've got to wait for the finish to tell us what actually happened. And look at that. Lexis Colby, look at the gap between her and Elke van Hoof. Literally 8/1000ths of a second. It's that close, Matt.
That is incredibly close, and there's not much left after that, is there, really? You can see why it came down to a photo finish. I'm quite glad that I wasn't stood on the line trying to call that by the human eyeball. Will we get as much action in this? Well, it promises to be an interesting this the final run of the women's elite quarterfinals here, and I know Richie's looking forward to this one.
Yeah, definitely. You've got Molly Simpson in this one, and round 5 here in Turkey in 2021, that's where Molly Simpson got a podium, so she's experienced on this track, and she'll be looking for another good result.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
And it is Simpson of Canada on the inside. She's got Manon Veenstra right next to her, but leading them out, the Olympic gold medalist, the European champion out of Great Britain. It's Bethany Shriever out front and in control right now. Lauren Reynolds is the rider in 4. Veenstra's in there as well. And as they head into that second turn, it looks like Peyton Ride now has got a little bit of work to do for the USA, but Shriever in control. Simpson looking good in 2. The form coming through from 2021. She clearly likes this track. Veenstra in there in that 3rd position. Bethany Shriever has enough time to swoop wide and keep the speed from that final turn as they take it to the stripe. Shriever gets the win. Looks like Lauren Reynolds is going to get that 4th spot for Australia. Peyton Ridenauer unlucky. She's out in 5.
So our riders coming through, 4 riders really relatively easily qualifying there with a gap to 5th place despite chasing all the way in to the line.
Yeah, you keep an eye on gate number 3 there. Bethany Shriever got a really, really good start, whereas Lauren Reynolds did not get the start she wanted, but it didn't hold her back as they went into that first turn. She just drifted up high. One rider diving underneath, and that was Veenstra. Veenstra there in that 3rd spot. Molly Simpson looking very good for Canada in there in 4th, and the front 4 were out front and clear. Beth just had enough time and enough space to keep her speed down the final straight. She knows she's made it through. Just a little grimace. Maybe she was working harder than we thought.
Well, that's the advantage of being up on the front. You've got a clear run, and as you can see, it is Shriever who goes through in top spot. And top spot is important, isn't it? As you go through to get your positions, because of course that is where you get to choose the gate and get your pick of the race line, which is really critical. Now, we saw earlier on that we had a mechanical issue in the under-23 men. We're going to be heading back over to pick that up. It looks like, I think, that the rider's going to be back on there. So here we go. Heat 4. It's the 4th of our quarterfinals. And this time, who adapts best? Rich, who's going to adapt best to the fact they've had a delay?
Yeah, certainly. Once you have a delay as well in a race like this, it just takes you out of your mindset for that split second. So it's whether you can actually hold on, keep your head on straight, as it were, and be ready, and to, deal with those inevitable delays. I think the Royal Marines call it dislocated expectations, Matt.
Well, let's see who matches their expectations and who falls short. Let's watch the action. Riders in the gate and ready to go.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
As the gate falls in quarterfinal number 4, I've got my eye on gate number 6 in the orange sleeve jersey. That's Drew Polk of the USA. He's been shuffled back to about 5th at the minute. Cameron Bramer's in there on the inside as well. And New Zealander out front. It looks like Rico Bierman, who's out there in the lead. Pete Kanowski, the French rider, going through in 2. And the New Zealand guys are well in there. Oh, made by Drew Polk. We know he's that kind of thing. We've seen it do time and time again, and he's made that move count in that 3rd turn. Dived underneath, got himself a qualifying position. Can he pick up the 3rd spot as they get to the line? He's going to push for it. Drew Polk's going to go through in 4. Rico Berman, Pete Kanowski, they went 1 and 2. Green off in 3, but Drew Polk's turn skills are second to none.
That was a really impressive move. And watching Rich's face as he went through, I'm sure we're going to get the same facial expressions from Rich here. Take us through this, Rich. We're watching out for him coming through. Great move.
Yeah, it was a great move from Drew Polk. Like I said, at this point, he was being pushed up the turn. Bramer slid out. He was back there in 7. And Pete Kanowski was in 2. And Rico Bierman was leading out in front. But just watch Drew Polk dived underneath. Absolutely textbook maneuver. Made it pay. Got himself from 6th to 4th. And yeah, it's a skill that all good riders, if you're watching, if you can learn how to work the turns, it can work to your advantage.
So that's one for the coaching manuals and the playbacks for all those young riders who are out competing, maybe in a national series somewhere right now and dreaming of racing here. And that move taking Polk through to qualify the final qualifier in there. And again, very close between Carino and Polk. So great to see that race run off and all of our original contenders in there. That mechanical note, meaning that we weren't missing anybody, which is great to see everybody getting the chance to let their legs and the brain do the talking. It was smart riding, wasn't it, by Polk to come through to take that?
Yeah, it definitely was smart from Drew. I'm excited to see what he can do in the semi-finals and the finals. But yeah, the action continues very, very shortly with the quarterfinals of the elite men. Heat 1 lining up: Ruben Gomez, Simon Marcotte, Jamie O'Brien, Cameron Larson, Mateo Carmona Garcia, Isaac Kennedy, who's had quite the week in Turkey, Quillan Isidore, who came through from the last chance qualifier, and Vannes Magdalens out of Belgium. This moto is absolutely stacked, and we're only at the quarterfinal stage.
So our riders lined up and ready. Let's see who's going to take this out. You can just see the body language, people waiting to race the world champion, the last to take position.
Keeping a close eye on Quillan Isidore of Great Britain out there in lane number 7, so he's really got to put the work in to get across. He's making it happen right now. Marcotte in there, the world champion, picking up the whole shot. Isaac Kennedy in there in 2. That looks like Ruben Gomez in there in 3, as Isidore made his way into the top 4. I think he has. He's there. He's in that 4th spot right now, right where he needs to be, but the pressure's coming from behind. He's got a stack of riders behind him. Is he going to be able to hold the line into the final corner? It is Marcotte, Kennedy, Gomez, 1, 2, 3. Quillan Isidore hanging on for 4. He really had to work from it from lane number 7, but the British rider getting the job done.
He did get the job done, but not quite was that world champion. You could just see, I mean, he's a young rider. I think Sakarya straight. Watch this run. Really interesting, 2 very different rides, weren't they?
Yeah, very much so. It's nice to see Simon Marcotte. He's had a bit of time out with injury and stuff like that. He was injured in the run-up to the World Championships as well. So it feels like we haven't even seen him in that rainbow jersey that much. But Isaac Kennedy making moves in there in that 2nd position, wearing borrowed kit pretty much from head to toe, courtesy of the airlines losing all his stuff. But yeah, borrowed kit or not, he goes through in that quarter-final. He's going to make it through to into the semis.
So your official results of your Swiss World Champion in a man who's got 3 tracks in 45 minutes drive of his house, and where he's going to be, of course, going over and riding in the UCI Academy over in Aigle as well. So your top 4 riders in and through. So that is the first of our quarterfinals done, the second of our quarterfinals. And here, well, the Netherlands have got to think this is going to go their way.
Yeah, you've got Niek Kimmen in there, the Olympic champion. And yeah, you'd be foolish to put your money against Niek Kimmen on a BMX track. And I'm not a betting man, but if somebody said stick a few quid on a rider in this moto, I think it would be on Niek. But you've got Dave van der Berg in there as well, Julian Schmidt, and Arthur Pielard of France.
Rider is ready. Watch the gate.
Keeping an eye on quarterfinal number 2, Niek Kimmen must be feeling it today because he's out there in lane number 8, his favoured lane, and he's managed to get all the way across and get the whole shot. Pilard's in there in 2, looking very, very good, the Frenchman. He's been posting some fast laps already today. Julian Schmidt in 3, Suarez in 4, and the rider trying to get around is Thomas Juve as well from France. He's getting in there. Where is Dave van der Berg? Back there in about 7 at the moment, so it looks like his day might be done. But Niek Kimmen of the Netherlands, the Olympic champion, the Brazilian rider Santos, he's hit the deck. One rider goes off the side of the track. All action as they came out of the final corner and down the final straight, and you can almost feel the disappointment, Matt. It's palpable.
It is. You could just see him there. It's like, I don't want to move. Please swallow me up. That was wrong. And what went wrong here for him? He was totally spotted. He didn't get a shot out of the gate. And you compare that to Kimmen up at the front. I mean, totally different ride.
Yeah, I mean, Niek Kimmen from lane 8, what can you say? It's just poetry in motion. And Pielard, he's always there or thereabouts, and he was sat there in that second spot. Suarez, he got swooped by the Brazilian rider, and as we come to the final turn, let's have a look what went down. Did he slide out? Oh, he did. The Brazilian rider, the tyres got away from him. It disappeared from underneath him, and then somebody exited left going down the final straight.
Tell you what, that wasn't a bad save, was it? Loading into the gravel at the side there. That normally eats your wheels and you can go for a right old flyer. So nicely held there, but to take him out of contention. And you saw that slide out there. I mean, that was really disappointing for him. But that's the difference, isn't it? Being able to hold it when you come in, and it's super hot on the way through. Now, Heat 3, we are going to see more of our riders in action. So over the halfway point in our quarterfinals. And of these riders, who's your pick? Pick one.
Oh, who pick one? I tell you what, he's aging like a fine French wine, and that's Joris Daudet of France. He's been absolutely on fire in the USA BMX Pro Series. Watch out for the man on the 33 plate.
Okay, riders, random start. Rider is ready. Watch the gate.
So Joris Daudet in there in lane number 2, but he's got the winner from Glasgow last year. Diego Arboleda took the win in round number 1 of the 2022 World Cup Series, and he's taking the whole shot in this one. But Joris just sat there in 2, calm and in control. Renaud Blanc, skills on a bike. He's in there in 3. Mitchell Shopman's trying to work his way in as well for the Netherlands, but Arboleda out front. Who's got that 4th spot right now? We've got Juan Camilo Ramirez, the Colombian rider, trying to get in there as well. I think he's stolen that 4th spot away. So the Colombians bookending the top 4. It looks like Arboleda's going to get it. Joris is going to get the 2. Renaud Blanc for the 3. Ramirez Valencia for 4. Mitchell Shotman out in 5.
So Colombia on fire here in the third of our heats there. And you could just see Daudet. He could see that the rider that was our eventual winner came in. He took the lead there, and he knew to play that smart. He just sat on that wheel. He didn't look to make a move, did he?
No, I think Joris has, he's got so much experience from winning 5 USA BMX Pro titles. He's won 2 world titles. He knows every inch of every track, and he knows what to do and when to do it. And there's no substitute for experience. He knew he had what it took. Renaud Blanc coming through for a strong 3rd spot, and then the other Colombian rider inside the top 4.
So your confirmed results on the screen, and as you can see, Shotman, Stindl, Shara and Bertolli are both the riders from Netherlands and Germany, and of course from USA and Italy, eliminated, with Colombia taking 2 out of those 4 qualifying spots, which means we're going to move on to our final of our quarterfinals. It is going to be another race where we have 2 Colombians, 2 French, 1 Swiss rider, 1 German, 1 rider from New Zealand, and 1 from the Netherlands. Rich, could be an interesting final, this.
Definitely. I'm expecting it to be dominated by the French riders, but as we know, Matt, anything can happen in BMX, and usually does. But yeah, the 20 of Leo Garayan and Romain Meilloux. I mean, Romain Meilloux, when he won in Papendal last year, one of the best laps of BMX World Cup racing I've ever seen.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Oh, Cedric Booty looking like he got a good snap, but he didn't get as good a snap as Romain Meilloux, who's going to lead them into turn number 1. Where is Leo Garayan diving underneath? He's in there into the elbows, are flying already, and getting caught up in the middle of it all is Cedric Booty. He's been shuffled back a little bit now, so he's going to have to work his way into the top 4. No such problems for the French. Meilloux, Garayan 1 and 2 at the moment. Looks like we've got Carlos Ramirez in there as well, and Murillo. So the Colombians are 3 and 4. 2 French, 2 Colombians. Can Cedric Booty make it in for Switzerland? Is he going to have what it takes? He's push to the line. Didn't quite make it happen. Michael Bias in there in 6. But French domination in quarter-final number 4.
Well predicted there by Rich here. And gotta say, the French so dominant.
Yeah, definitely in this one. And if you think about it, when you think who didn't make it through to the quarterfinals, because Sylvain Andre, Jeremy Rencarel, and Romain Meilloux, the other French heavy hitters, none of them made it through the 8th final stage. So there could have been even more French riders in these quarterfinals. But Meilloux in control, looking smooth, looking good. The Colombians stacking up behind, and everybody else is looking for a way past. And if there's something that's very rare, it's somebody passing a Colombian rider in a final turn.
Great racing here at Sakarya, and you can see the results up on your screen here. 4 qualifiers through, 4 left to lick the wounds and look to go again at our next round. And don't forget, of course, you can catch up with all the action. Make sure that you go onto social media. It's UCI BMX Racing. You see across the bottom of your screen at the moment. So, Rich, we've done our men's elite quarter-finals here. And when we think about the riders coming in and racing in elite, there's always that difficult transition, isn't there, as you move up and through into elite from under 23?
Yeah, it's a hard step, but some riders make it look really easy, like the Leo Garayans of this world, but it's like moving up from the Championship to the Premier League in soccer terms. You know, you go up a level, you've got to train much harder, and it's not like the under 23 guys don't train hard anyway, but really to get through, to make it into a top elite rider, you're going to another level. So moving on, we have got the women under 23 semi-finals. Veronika Stariska, Eliska Bartonkova, Renska van Sanford, who had a great lap last time around, Aiko Gomez, the former world pump track champion, Layla Walker, Megan Williams, Sabina Koskova, and Valerie Vossen.
So very interesting semi-final. A quick reminder, of course, it's 4 riders to move up through from our semis into our finals. So run us through our riders, Rich.
Yeah, Megan Williams of New Zealand, all smiles there out in gate number 8. So she's going to have to channel her inner Nick Kimmen if she wants to get across and steal that whole shot away. Valerie Vossen of Belgium on that 525 plate. Looking very serious, taking those big deep breaths, keeping that heart rate down. Next up on the 507, it is Sabina Korsakova of the Czech Republic. Heavily involved on the European Cup scene. And Layla Walker in there as well, doing it for New Zealand. On the 501 out of Belgium, that is the former world pump track champion, Aiko Gomez. And had a great lap in the quarterfinals, Renska van Sanford of the Netherlands. On the 516 from the Czech Republic, Eliska Bartonkova. Right there on the inside, the World Cup champion from last year out of Latvia, Veronika Stariska.
So the riders lined and ready. The moment of pressure is approaching. They all take their positions ready for this, the women's semi-final.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
So we're down to the pressure part of the afternoon, the semi-final stage. Let's see who's going to get the whole shot. Oh, look at Aiko Gomez coming across from the outside. Not sure what's happened to Veronica Stariska, the World Cup champion. She's back there in 7 at the minute. Maybe she came up clip. Oh, Van Sanfort's hit the deck. The Dutch riders down on the floor. So it leaves 2 Czech Republic riders, I think, in there. And I've got a feeling that Megan Williams has made her way across from gate 8 and got herself into a qualifying position. So Stariska in 5th on the outside. Looking in right now. Can she catch Layla Walker down that final straight? Has she got the power? Has she got the speed? Gomez is going to hold on to it. Williams through in 3, and I think Layla Walker hung on for the 4. There was a 3-way photo finish. Stariska in 5, but what could have been Ferenska Van Sanfort?
Well, it is what could have been, and you can see that was a pretty big hit there. Unfortunately, oh, okay, let's look at the start here. And you saw that move coming across as the riders dive from the outside to the inside. Very difficult move to pull off.
Yeah, and I actually mixed it up. I said Aiko Gomez was out front. It's actually Valerie Vossen. Aiko went down on that first straight. Renska Van Sanfort down on the second straight. So we lost 2 out of the 8 riders. So Megan Williams had done a great job at this stage. She was in there inside the top 3, and I was waiting for Stariska to just wind it up going down that final straight. You can see her creeping up on the back of Layla Walker. The question is, has she done enough to make it in? I don't think she has.
It certainly didn't look like it, and I think when those results come up, it will show that she's not made it through. Just waiting for those results to be confirmed. Don't forget, of course, they're all subject to the commissaire team making sure that everybody followed the rules on the way through, and there was nothing to award. But coming off the bike, like many of our disciplines, it is, of course, all part of the deal, because it's very difficult to stay rubber side down all the time. We've all done our fair share of cuddling the track one way or another, and there we have the results up. You can see that Van Stanford and Gomez did not finish, their time taken out, and it is Boston who heads the qualifiers, who will move in and through. Not enough from Stariska to take that. It was 0.3 of a second in the end of the line.
Yep, just good to see that there's a couple of New Zealand riders making the main event. It looks like Aiko Gomez is walking away, which is always a great thing to see.
They said that about landings in planes and landings on the bike, let's face it.
Very much so.
So here we go. We are done and dusted. They're going to just make sure everybody's clear of the track before we move into the second of our semi-finals here. And as you can just see, battered, bruised, and the pride no doubt dented, but up and walking, which is always a good sign. The crowds here able to watch on and see that the riders are all right. Okay, let's take a look at our riders. This is going to be really interesting, I think, here. And out of the riders here, who's your pick, Rich? Surely you get. Can you get this one right?
This is very, very even. I would keep my eye on Tessa Martinez and Michelle Vissing, the French and the Dutch riders, but you can't count out the likes of Dewey Yabuta, Zoe Hapke, also capable of making a main event as well, and Indy Scheepers of the Netherlands, former junior world champion. She'll be looking to make the main event today.
And the lane choice here, outside or inside, basically seem to be the picks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you really need the speed for the outside, Matt. If you can't get across from lane number 8, you pick that, you're just going to make a fool of yourself. But the main place to be is on the inside. The closer you are to the inside, the shorter the gap round the turn. And as we look at Dewey Yabuta in lane number 8, she's got right next door to Isabella Carranza Lopez of Colombia. And in lane number 6, Zoe Hapke from France. There's some very nervous-looking faces atop this gate. Dominika Manikova, certainly looking relaxed. So maybe she knows something that everybody else doesn't. Michelle Vissing out of the Netherlands. She's got the Dutch national champion sleeve on her jersey. Indy Scheepers of the Netherlands in gate number 3. Gate 2. That belongs to Sharid Nicole Faryad Mercado out of Colombia. Never count out a South American rider in a BMX race. And right there, the premium gate on the inside, on the 527, Tessa Martinez.
Well, if it goes to Richard's predictions for a gate line, it will be Martinez. But will that be the case with BMX? And as we've seen already, this is a big pressure. There's a lot at stake here today. The riders being readied in the gate for the start second of our semi-finals.
Random start. Rider is ready. Watch the gate.
So as Matt said, keeping an eye on the inside and the outside gate. Martinez not getting the start she wanted. Dewey Yabuta, she actually made the podium here back in 2021, so she'll be looking for a good result again. She's been pushed high out of the turn. Hapka, I think, in there in 3 at the moment, and it looks like the rider going through in 4 might be a Dominika Manikova. Michelle Vissing trying to make some moves as well from about 5th or 6th. Let's see how it breaks down as they come down the straight. Mercado, Martinez, Manikova, Hapka. Here comes Michelle Vissing from the Netherlands, working away into that 3rd spot as they go in and out of the turn. Vissing, she's not done yet. She's looking for 2. Who's going to get it at the line? Mercado to the stride. Martinez, Vissing, and it looks like Zoe Hapka who took that 4th spot. But Michelle Vissing, she did some shopping in those turns.
I think Rich is going to have to put his heart back in going round there after having watched that one. Really interesting. Rich, tell us what was so critical here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you're on the inside and Tessa Martinez getting out of shape over that first jump, but look at Michelle Vissing in the orange of the Netherlands. She was back there in 7th at that point. Martinez was in there in 2. Zoe Hapka was in 3. And then here comes Michelle Vissing riding very, very smartly. She went high-low, I think, in that 3rd turn. Yes, she did. Worked her way through the middle of the pack, got herself into 3rd. So if you think about it, she's in a World Cup semi-final. She's gone from 7th to 3rd, made the World Cup main. Smart riding from the Dutch lady.
And again, we're seeing those Netherlands riders, the Dutch riding so strongly and very smart, challenging the French there and taking 3rd spot, qualifying to go through. And we're seeing that line choice. And you've got to have the physical presence to make it stick as well. It's not just being out at sea. You've got to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to make like 1,000 decisions in the space of a split second. And Michelle Vissing made all the right ones, and it's got her through to the main event.
So we are going to have the riders for the men's under-23 semi-finals. It's the first of our semi-finals. 8 riders on the line. However, only 4 riders going through. Who's going to be lucky today?
Oh, this is so evenly matched. You can't believe it.
You can't split them, can you?
Oh,
There's
not
nothing
at all.
to choose here. If we picked any random 4, would you be surprised?
Not really, but I'm keeping my eye on Jason Nordam in lane 7, Tatiana Louis Hinsan in 6, and there's an outsider, Braden Kemple. He's there in lane number 4.
So lane number 1 on your right, lane number 8 on your left.
Right, let's have a look. The semi-finals of the under-23 men are underway. Steiner on the inside. Look at Jason Nordam. I said to keep an eye on him. He's worked his way into the top 3 right now, battling with Spencer Cole. Braden Kemple in there in that 4th spot as they get busy going down the 2nd straight. Steiner still leading it out. He's been looking really, really good today. Here comes Jason Nordam, though. Who's going to get that 4th spot? Skursbeck of Germany. He's in there as well, so one of the Americans might be getting shuffled out of the mix. It's Steiner, Nordam, Cole. That's going to be a 1, 2, 3. Is Skursbeck going to hang on and get that 4? We'll soon see as they cross the line. Yes, he did. Greenoff in 5, Spencer Cole in 3. But what did I say about Jason Nordam? Never count that guy out.
And he came across from gate number 7, and Stubbing coming across from gate 8 there. Really interesting. And watch the moves here as they come in and through. And got to say, Steiner, he kept himself out of trouble. He knew that they were bumping and barging behind him.
Yeah, he certainly did. And in the meantime, Braden Kemple was getting shuffled around in the back of the pack. But the rider I'm very surprised to see not go through is Tatiana Louis Hinsan of France. I thought he would have been up there inside the top 4.
So we can see the weather just improving slightly, not raining as it did earlier on the track, drying, and it's a very fast track here with Steiner going through in front of Nordam, Cole, and Sturbek behind. So we have our first of our 4 riders through to the under-23 finals. Which 4 will it be out of here? Well, I'm not even going to ask Rich to try and pick from these 4 who is going to go through. But this track must suit one particular rider, surely.
Yeah, you've just got 8 very, very talented, fast guys up there. You've got Rico Berman, who's won a World Cup. You've got Drew Polk in there. You've got Hugo Marslet, European champion. Let's just let it play out and see what happens.
Random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Polk, Goosens and Marek Neusel in the middle of the track, but it looks like Rico Bierman, the guy who won in Glasgow on his father's birthday last year, he's taken the whole shot. That is Hugo Marzlak in there into Drew Polk right there in the middle, and we've got Gasparoli, the Italian, in the mix as well. He's up there in 3. Pikanowski's making moves. Let's have a look as they come down that third straight. The Italian still in there in 3 right now. Drew Polk, has he got what it takes in the last third? Oh, Pikanowski's dived underneath, taken Drew Polk with him. Bierman hangs on to the line. Marzlek, Gartapoli goes through as well. Maro Noisek, I think it is, going in. You can hear the shouts and the screams as they cross the line. One rider exited right. He's still down. Drew Polk was looking to thread the needle. Meanwhile, Pikanowski just came in and served up a portion of elbow with extra chili sauce.
Oh, that was far too hot, wasn't it, coming in there? You could just see as it came off here. Polk actually having to freewheel on the ramp coming down there to back off so he didn't run into everybody. He had an action-packed race. Meanwhile, at the very front, they were out of trouble. They were out of sight. And this corner, you could just see, just took people out.
Yeah, Pikanowski, it was like, let's just throw it in there, see what happens, see if we can skittle everybody over and come out in one piece. It didn't work for him, but it took Drew Polk at the same time.
It wasn't a winning move. It was more like a grenade he chucked in there. Never mind anything else. There were just bodies and bikes going everywhere on the way through. Right. Definitely an action-packed semi-finals there, but it looks like our riders back up the moon. The next riders lined up in the gate. So let's get the confirmed results first of all. And as you can see, it's Goosens, Polk, Piskanowski, as well as Comparin, who are out of the race. And it's not going to be their day. They're not going to be in our finals.
Yeah, as we move on, Women Elite semi-final time. Malin Kelstrup, Laura Smulders, Saya Sakakibara, Zoe Claessens, Elise Willoughby, Delaney Vaughan, Nadine Aberhard, and Alexis Colby all lined up there. Again, take your pick, Matt. It's going to be a banger of a lap.
It is, and we've seen that there's still plenty of room to overtake and make those moves towards the end if you can make them stick. Let's see who's going to take it away and make their move up to the finals.
Right, let's have a look. Semi-final number 1 for the Women Elite heading down the hill. Laura Smulders, but here she comes. Elise Willoughby of the USA making the move from gate number 6 and taking the whole shot. Zoe Claessens in 2, Laura Smulders in 3. That looks like Delaney Vaughan in there in 4. Alexis Colby, so there's the battle of the USA riders as they go into turn number 2. Claessens has made a move, stolen the lead away from Willoughby. Willoughby's not done yet either. Laura Smulders just looking for an opportunity to pick up another spot. But look at the battle for 4. Delaney Vaughan, Alexis Colby, drag racing down the final straight. Willoughby getting caught by Smulders as they get to the line. Claessens takes it at the strike. Claessens, Willoughby, Smulders, who got the 4th? Delaney Vaughan, Saya Sakakibara. She's going to have to come back for round number 2. All action between the USA riders in that one, Matt.
So tight. I'm glad I'm not on their team bus heading back towards the team camp, because that was very close indeed. Here we go. As they came in, you can see the scrap unfolding in positions 4 right through to about 6 or 7 there, Rich.
Yeah, definitely. But Zoe Claessens made a move going into that second turn. Elise Willoughby was in control, but Laura Smulders was looking for a way round. I've got a feeling that one of the riders hit the deck in that final corner, because Alexis Colby had been shuffled back. Delaney Vaughan was in there in 4. I think everybody came across the line. But wow, what action.
Yeah, really tight, and everybody staying rubber side down as they came round, despite Rich's watching them go out the outside there. He's not surprised. There's just bodies going everywhere, as you'd expect in BMX, but the 4 bodies going through Claessens, Willoughby, Smulders and Colby, they're going to be your finalists, joining the first 4 in the semi-final. as they go through. Who will it be? Will it be Camille Marie going through? Will it be Veenstra? Are we going to see Schreiber making it through? She's got to be in your list of riders who are likely to be in the top 4.
Yeah, we've got 2 Olympic champions in this one, and I wouldn't bet against 2 Olympic champions making the final, but we've got to wait and see what happens.
Well, not long to wait. The riders lined up in the gate, and they are being ready for the start. Who's going to make it through? Who's going to have to wait till round number 2 to show us what they can do?
And as they head down the 8-metre start hill here in Sakarya in Turkey, it looks like Bethany Shriver just working her way through the middle. Mariana Pajon on the inside. Molly Simpson getting in there as well. Manon Veenstra diving underneath. Lauren Reynolds has been shuffled back a little bit, as has Camille Mer. So as they go to turn number 2, out in front, the European champion, the Olympic gold medalist, followed by another Olympic gold medalist. They're 1 and 2 at the minute. Manon Veenstra looking very, very good now. Can Stansel pick off Simpson in that final corner? In and out the turn, Simpson still in control. Here comes Felicia Stansel. Will she get Simpson at the line? Is the world champion in, or is she out? I have a feeling she's out. Simpson holds on to the 4. Felicia goes out in 5. Bethany and Mariana 1 and 2, the Olympic champions in control.
Well, it just shows, doesn't it, when the going gets tough to tough, get going. And that was very much a case of nobody losing their head there. It's so calm and cool there. And do you think that was just pure race experience and class?
Yeah, it's just so hard at this level, Matt. I mean, you look at the start, Bethany got a really, really good one. Molly Simpson got an even better one. She was flying into turn number 1. It's just that Bethany had the inside and managed to make it stick. But the 2 Olympic champions from the last 3 games out front and in control. Manon Veenstra, a very, very measured performance to make the main event. But Molly Simpson had to do some work to hold off Felicia Stansel.
So you can see the results of the second of our semi-finals. It is Shriver, Paino-Lodano, followed by Veenstra and Simpson, who go through to the finals, join our first 4 qualifiers who made it in and through. But all of our riders finishing that the second of our heats.
And look at the lineup. 4 Colombians in the first of the semi-finals for elite men. Diego Arboleda, Carlos Ramirez, Juan Esteban Naranjo Murillo, and Santiago Angel Suarez. Those are your 4 Colombian representatives. We've got Julian Schmidt, Isaac Kennedy, Joris Dode, and Arthur Pilard. The semi-finals are basically just 2 main events, so I'm just going to be so interested to see how it all breaks down. The guys just getting themselves lined up and ready to go. Ramirez, double Olympic bronze medalist. Another guy who's got serious skills in the turn.
Yeah, everybody's got skills. This man's another level.
Oh.
And you can see the riders just coming in a little bit late in here. Is the gamesmanship being played here as well?
I think they're just trying to keep relaxed and just keep calm until that final moment. I mean, all the pressure is on in this situation. I've always said that racing semi-finals is harder than racing a final, and we're about to find out how hard it'll be.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Arboleda, Pilard and Dode, 1, 2, 3 out of the gate. Looks like the 2 Frenchmen are going to lead it in. Suarez is making his move from the outside. Arboleda diving underneath. He's up in there into 3 now. Looks like the rider in 4 is Julian Schmidt. So Julian Schmidt looking to make the main event. Where is Isaac Kennedy? He's back there in 5 at the minute, but looking for a way round. But it's Pilard and Dode, the French 1, 2, going well. Here comes Isaac Kennedy. He's up into 4 now, but he's going to have pressure in that final corner. Trying to dive underneath. Looks like he's been swooped. Kennedy might be going out to the semi-final stage. It's Pilard, Dode, 1 and 2, Arboleda in 3, Carlos Ramirez in 4. Oh, Carlos Ramirez, the little magician, producing the magic when he counted. Amazing.
Yep, abracadabra, and he was there, just pulled it out. And that dive round, that was right to the white line. It was the very edge of the track, wasn't it? And it wasn't so much he shut the door, he just let it creep in front there. Take us through it, Rich.
Yeah, he looks so good. Arthur Pilard's 1, 2, 3 out of the gate was absolutely phenomenal. And you could see Joris Dode just having a quick look to see where everybody was. Isaac Kennedy was in there in 4. I think he got dive bombed in that final turn, which is what ended his day. Yep, somebody cut him off as they went round the final corner. Arboleda in 3, Ramirez in 4. But it's such a fine margin at the World Cup level.
It is now. Fastest lap times here. Really interesting, isn't it? That you can see those signs that there's virtually nothing between our under 23 and our elite riders. It's still there, though.
Yeah, definitely. There's not much between them. But when you move up and you're into the pressure stages like this with the semi-final results, Pilar, Dode, Arboleda, Ramirez confirmed as going through. That's the difference. You've got to handle the pressure when it counts as an elite rider.
And you've got that extra experience, a bit more power, a bit older, a bit more strength.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, they'll be making the step soon enough. As we move on, semi-final number 2, Nick Kim and Roman Mayu. Leo Garayan, the 2022 world champion in under 23. We've got Simon Marcotte, Renaud Blanc, Ruben Gomez, Juan Camilo Ramirez, and on the outside for Great Britain, came through via the last chance qualifier. He's done it the hard way today, Quillan Isidore.
Well, you were talking before the show that he was really going to have to fight his way through. That's got to have taken its toll going through. Last chance is another race in your legs, isn't it?
It is definitely another race in the legs, but I'm sure they've got enough in there to handle it.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Neat Kimmin on the outside in lane number 8. Can he make it count this time around? Marcotte in there as well. Cullen Isidore in the middle of the pack. Roman Mayu on the inside picking up the whole shot. He's in there in 1. So it is Mayu, Kimmin, Marcotte. Where is Cullen Isidore? He's on the inside. He's looking for a position. Can he get any moves made in that corner? It looks like he might have left himself a little bit too much to do. Who's in that 4th spot? It looks like Leo Garayan, I think, in the 4th position. So as they go in and out the final corner, Mayu, Kimmin, Marcotte. That's going to be your 1, 2, 3. Who's going to get the 4th sprint to the line? Oh, it was close, close, close. Garayan got it. Ramirez was on the back wheel all the way from the last jump to the finish line.
0.04 of a second between qualifying and not coming in and through there by being into the top 4 and not making it. So tight, fractions of a second counting, and that race to go through, balancing out between putting the pressure on enough to get through and saving some energy for those finals, which we will be bringing you very shortly indeed. So great to see those semi-finals battling their way out there. And we're just going to take a little bit of a look back here, Rich. And you could just see the power there of the French on track. Absolutely flying, looking a class apart, but behind a real battle.
Yeah, absolutely. Pilar and Dode were out front and in control in that one. Arboleda just celebrating as he came across the line. Anytime you make an elite men World Cup final, it's a good day. And there's your confirmed result for the second semi. Roman Mayu, Nick Kimmin, Simon Marcotte, Leo Garayan. So Leo making his first World Cup main on the move up from under 23. I'm really excited to see what he's got in the final.
Well, it's a man who's taken that step comfortably up and through. Let's see how that's going to roll out when we move on from our men's elite here. And I've got to say, track is really fast here. We're going to move on to our women's under 23 final. Your start list in front of you. Take us through these riders, Rich.
Yep, you got Valerie Vossen, Eliska Barton-Kova, Megan Williams, Layla Walker, Sharid Nicole Fayed-Mercado, Tessa Martinez, Michelle Vissing, and Zoe Hapke. So a real international blend in this women under 23 final. I'm looking forward to some superb racing. Certainly going to keep my eye on Michelle Vissing, and also from the outside as well, Zoe Hapke, capable of making things happen. And don't count out your 2 New Zealand riders as well. And bang on cue, right there behind the gate, doing it for New Zealand. A nice wave to friends and family back home for Megan Williams. All smiles. Lane number 7 from the Netherlands. On the 5 template, it's Michelle Vissing. Lane 6, in the familiar colours of Belgium. On the 525, it's Valerie Vossen. Next door to her, on plate 526, out of France, Zoe Hapka. On the 527, in gate number 4, also representing France, Tessa Martinez. All smiles, South American smiles, pointing to teammates in the crowd. It's Shari Nicole Fayad. On the 504, lane number 2, Layla Walker. And that is your lineup for the women under 23 final here, round 1 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup, Sakarya, Turkey.
And gate 1 had just been filled here. Light coming in, tucked in around the corner, but that's a great lane choice for Bartukunkova here. Will she be able to make it stick? It is the finals. Here we go. No more rehearsals. Time to make it count.
The final underway of the women under 23 here, round 1 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup. Who's going to lead it into the turn? It looks like the rider who was late to the gate, but she was first into turn number 1, Eliska Bartunkova. Mikado in there as well. Here comes Michelle Vissig and Tessa Martinez as they go in and out of turn number 2. That's Layla Walker in there in that second spot. Bartunkova under pressure now. Walker looking like she's getting her nose in front. In and out the final turn. Bartunkova dives underneath. Oh, takes the lead, takes the front wheel of Layla Walker. Oh my word, all action as they came out of that final turn. Meanwhile, Tessa Martinez almost steals the win from nowhere. Zoe Hapka in 2, Michelle Vissig in 3. But Layla Walker, what could have been until the front wheel disappeared.
Just the front 2 there came round. This start, you could just see lane 1, the pressure coming out of gate 1, just pushing into this. But Walker, very calm. You can see here she's moving from a long way back to come up and through. Really muscles the way into position. Just take us around these next few corners, Rich.
Yeah, she came in, she left the door wide open. That was an invitation for Bartunkova, and it took her down, and then you can see the frustration from Bartunkova as Tessa Martinez went, thanks, I'll have that win.
Well, brilliant to see that, actually. And this is BMX. This is what we love about it. And we do love to see you out and riding and you out and racing. You can just see after the race now, the rider's a little bit more relaxed. And the pressure's off. What's done is done now. And time to get some recovery done really fast because the riders, of course, in action in our next round very shortly. But time to revel in it for the riders who are up on the top spots. And a surprise result, really.
Yeah, very much so. There was just so much going on in that final turn to break down, Matt. But Tessa Martinez, yeah, definitely got the result she was looking for, courtesy of the craziness at the front of the pack.
And that front of the pack there between Bartunkova and Walker, I mean, they were side by side, and then you saw that move coming in from Walker. Did Walker take Bartunkova out? Did Bartunkova just roll too far up? So close.
I think it was a racing incident. You know, Layla Walker left that door wide open, and if you leave that door wide open, it's an invitation for somebody to dive down the inside, try and take it away from you. Bartunkova did. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for her.
So really interesting racing, but Martinez taking the top spot, and Hapka in second, Vissing in third place. They are your top 3 with Williams in 4, Vossen in 5, Bartunkova in 6. It's Fayed in 7 and Walker in 8. So our top 8 riders summed up, and they are going to be the riders who take away the maximum points from here into round number 2. So let's hear some reaction here, and let's catch up with our riders now that they've had a chance to take a breath.
So congratulations, this was a quite impressive finish. What happened?
Thank you. I'm so happy for my lap. There was a lot of incidents on the track, but I was lucky and I was there. So I'm just happy. And this is it.
Thanks a lot, best of luck. Une fois en français, on va la faire en français, effectivement. Pouvez nous faire le petit résumé là, qu'est-ce qui s'est passé à la fin?
So great to hear, and as she said, she was there. She was in the right place at the right time, and sometimes that is what it takes. You can't afford to give up. It's such a short race, so much jockeying, and you can almost guarantee something will happen at some point during the competition. You can see the confirmed results. So we just heard from Tessa Martinez of France taking the win, and really important, isn't it? Scoring big points in the first round of the series in the World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And also with French going 1 and 2 in that one, it gives them maximum points for the Olympic qualifications as well, because they qualify as countries. So that's really important for the French. So yeah, good to see that Tessa Martinez and Zoe Hapke are in there. Michelle Vissing with a solid third place. Megan Williams in 4.
And all those riders, of course, are competing in round number 1. They'll be out and racing in round number 2 in our under 23 finals. So some great riding. Our riders will have their duties as winners, as our top 3, and they have a few duties to perform before we move on to our next round, and that will include, of course, doing all their social media. Don't forget, of course, make sure if you are on social media, you follow the UCI BMX Racing, and that is on Facebook and Instagram. So let's have a look at our riders. We're going to be going over to our flower ceremony, which is for our top 3 riders. We'll be bringing them up on the board. And then we're getting the applause from the crowd here in Sakarya. And I think 3 fairly surprised riders. If you'd have asked them if you could have asked them on turn 2, were they going to be there? I don't think they'd have been the ones expecting to be up there.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's always good if you get a top 3 at a World Cup, and I'm sure those riders are very, very happy about it. So, yeah, they'll be participating in the flower ceremony shortly.
Indeed, we will be heading that way very quickly for our flower ceremony, and the riders for our next one on the gate are waiting to go. They know that they're getting a little bit extra chance to flush that lactic acid out and not get too wound up. They've got to get the timing right to get that heart rate raised. But let's see our riders. Here we go. They are up on the board. So you can see our top 3 here. So 3rd and 2nd place already in.
Yeah, Michelle Vissing taking that 3rd spot. Zoe Hapke looking very happy with a 2nd position, but the rider taking the win here today. Out of France, that is Tessa Martinez. All smiles in the traditional flower ceremony here at round number 1 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup
this afternoon.
So your top 3, 3rd place Vissing, 2nd place Hapke, top spot Martinez. They pose for the pictures here at round number 1, and they will be taking away the points here from round number 1 to round number 2. Who will be joining them at the top of the leaderboards? Well, in the men's under 23, it is a packed start list, and Steiner has looked very good all the way through, hasn't he? Is anybody going to challenge him?
I think he's going to have some serious pressure from Jason Nordam and Ulrike Biermann. Philip Steiner's also posted the fastest lap of the day at 33.788, so he's certainly backing up those earlier laps, but he's got Hugo Barzlek to deal with as well. Spencer Cole, Jan Skersbeck, Tommaso Gasparoli, and Marek Neusel. And as we go to the top of the gate to introduce you to the riders, Jan Skersbeck of Germany in gate 8. For the Czech Republic in gate number 7 on that 539 plate, that's Marek Neusel. Gate 6, little bit of discussion going on for Tommaso Gasparoli with the UCI Commissaires. Right there in lane number 5, that is Spencer Cole of the USA. The European champion out of France is Hugo Barzlek. Rico Biermann is in gate number 3 for New Zealand. Gate number 2, we've got lining up from the Netherlands, that will be Jason Nordam. And gate number 1 on the 527. He's been the standout rider all day long in this age group. From Switzerland, Philip Steiner.
So our riders are ready to go here at the UCI BMX Racing World Cup round number 1 from Sakarya in Turkey. The finals are upon us in the men's under 23.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
The gate drops on the men under 23 final. Rowley didn't get the start he wanted. Steiner on the inside. Serious pressure coming though from Rico Bierman of New Zealand. Bierman gets the whole shot. Marek Neusel dives underneath for the Czech Republic. So it's New Zealand, the Czech Republic going 1 and 2. Philip Steiner's not out of it yet. He's in there in 3 for Switzerland. Jason Nordam pushing hard in 4 but under pressure from Hugo Marzalak of France. And as they come to the final turn, will it be another win for Rico Bierman? In and out the final corner. Drag racing down the final straight. Are New Zealand going to get it? Is Bierman going to pick up where he left off last year? Oh, I think he did. Rico Bierman taking the win. Marek Neusel in 2. Philip Steiner couldn't quite complete the job, but ended up in 3. And Jason Nordam in 4.
What a finish. I mean, those 3 were a class apart once we come round turn number 1. But there was a lot of bumping on number 1, Rich. Run us through from the start here.
Yeah, it looked like Philip Steiner got a great gate. Jason Nordam didn't get one at all. But the guy who got his nose out from early doors was Rico Bierman. He took that win in Glasgow last year, so he's looking for another one this weekend, and he's opened his account early. And as they came out the final corner, Marek Neusel, I thought he might have caught Bierman at the line. Didn't quite make it happen. Steiner in there in 3, so he's been winning all day long, and he came to the pressure point, and he's still on the podium, so it's not a bad day's work.
It's a great day's work. I think any of our riders would have been happy to be in the top 8, but Bierman showing his class, taking top spot with New Zealand in 1, Neusel of the Czech Republic in 2, then it's Steiner from Switzerland in 3. They're your top 3 riders here in the men's under 23 competition in the UCI BMX Racing World Cup from Sakarya in Turkey, and they are the riders who will take away the maximum points. It's also important, of course, for the qualifications for the World Championships and for the Olympics, of course, which are coming up in Paris. And these guys, you know, we're talking 2024 in Paris, we're talking going into, you know, the summer there. They're going to be absolutely looking forward to that, and they're going to want a solid run really from now through to get those qualification points.
Yeah, absolutely. Every single point counts when you're in the World Cup series for yourself, for your country, or whatever else it might be. I mean, Rico Bierman, you know, the New Zealand riders have put so much hard work in, and they've certainly made it pay today. Layla Walker, unlucky to take that win in under 23 women, but her compatriot Rico Bierman taking the win in under 23 men.
So the riders putting absolutely everything in there. Let's hear from the man who made it happen here today. He's down. Let's see what he's got to say.
Congratulations, Rico. So this looks really like a quite close finish, no?
Yeah, it was a good race all the way to the finish. Tight first straight, but yeah, got it done.
Can you take us through your race? Was your choice of your gate choice quite important?
I had third gate pit going into it, so just went inside as possible and backed myself and got it done.
Great. What about next year in New Zealand? There's a World Cup over there. You're looking forward to it?
Yeah, it's going to be cool. The first World Cup in New Zealand, home soil. It's going to be fun. Good track and good place.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Well, he's going to take away a lot of confidence from that, and it's always nice when you have a race on home turf, and to have the World Cup head his direction, head to New Zealand. He's got to be really pleased with that, and that will give him even more motivation when we're talking about that run in next year, and we're talking about an Olympic year, a year where all athletes, and particularly those in BMX racing, because we're going to be there, are going to want to be absolutely on the best form.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you've got, like you say, when you've got a race in your home country, when we go to Rotorua next year for the 2024 World Cup, yeah, every New Zealand athlete is going to want to make an impact, not only in front of the home crowd, the friends, the family, but also in front of the selectors for international races. So yeah, very important for Rico when we go to Rotorua next year.
And he looked like he tried, but didn't look like he tried too hard there.
Yeah, some of the best riders do make it look easy, but I can guarantee you they are pushing really hard.
Yeah, for sure. They are definitely looking really quick. So let's see how our riders are going, and let's see how they're doing. The rider there looking very good. Will the rest of the riders we're going to see in the top three look as cool? We'll find out very shortly. We're going to be heading there, where you can just see top three in the under 23 women stood at the side of the track there. But we're going to be making our way across to the men's flower ceremony very shortly indeed, where we will be bringing you your top three in the men's race. Here we go.
Yeah, Philip Steiner, he's had a great day. He's been so consistent, and he's finished it on the podium, which is a great day's work in anybody's book. Marek Neusel, he was riding the European Cup round in the Czech Republic just last week, and he's carried that form into the World Cup. But the man with the biggest smile in the men under 23 category, Rico Bierman of New Zealand. There they are, traditional photographs for the media. And yeah, Rico leads the points going into round number 2.
So your top three here at the UCI BMX Racing World Cup will go off and complete their media duties, celebrate and get ready for their next race. We're going to move on to our women's elite finals. So the UCI BMX World Cup racing continues with our women's elite, and this promises to be an absolute cracker.
Oh, I can't wait for this one. You've got European champions, Olympic champions, USA BMX champions, former winners in Turkey, you know, up-and-coming women elite riders. This is just going to be superb. You couldn't even begin to pick a winner out of this one, Matt.
And it's all going to come down to what they do over the next few minutes. Take us through the riders one by one, Rich.
Yeah, on the 204 in gate number 8 for the USA, it is Lexis Colby.
For Canada,
on the 44 plate out of Canada, she's already had a podium here in Turkey in 2021. It's Molly Simpson.
On her inside, out of gate
on the 100, the familiar figure of the Queen Bee of BMX. What more can be said about Mariana Pajon?
For the United States, out of
on the 11 plate, 10-time USA BMX Pro champion, it's Elise Willoughby. Out of the Netherlands, on plate number 6, it's Manon Veenstra. On the 110 from the Netherlands, she's had 27 World Cup wins. Is she about to make it 28? It's Laura Smulders.
In gate number 2,
on the 2 plate from Switzerland, the former European champion, Zoe Claessens.
And in gate number 1, representing
gate number 1 on the inside, the Olympic champion from Tokyo and current European champion, Bethany Shriver. Here we go.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
It's go, go, go in the Women Elite Final, round number 1 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup. Bethany Shriver's got the pole. Is Elise Willoughby going to get her in the turn? Not quite. So it's Shriver, Willoughby, Claessens, Simpson, Pajon. That's your 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And Bethany Shriver of Great Britain is out front and in control. Has Elise Willoughby got anything for her as they come down that third straight? She's trying hard. There's literally half a bike length between them. Laura Smulders is back there in about 6. Molly Simpson on the inside looking for a top 4 for Bethany Shriver of Great Britain, taking the win in round number 1 of the World Cup. The Olympic champion takes it. Zoe Claessens in 2, Elise Willoughby rounding out the podium. Molly Simpson in there in 4, but Bethany Shriver, box ticked, job done.
Come with the moment, come with the rider. What a ride from that gate, straight the way down. I'm in charge. You're all following me.
Yeah, absolutely. She got a great start. Zoe Claessens was right there next to her as well. And Elise Willoughby trying to make her usual move across and steal that lead away, but she couldn't steal it away from Bethany Shriver. Looking at Molly Simpson, she was in there in 4. Mariana Pajon in 5. Very unusual to see Laura Smulders back there in 6. But meanwhile, out front, Bethany Shriver, she's been putting the hard work in Manchester this season, this winter, and she's taken the win at the line. A little nod of the head as if to say, yep, done it again.
Job done, a fantastic result for her and a great fight behind. And it was really, when we were looking at the front of the race, there was a lot of battles a little bit further back, but they were eclipsed really by the ride of the top three. And Willoughby, in her pursuit of Shriver there, outclassed by Claessens.
Yeah, she was coming across from gate number 5. It was always going to be hard because Zoe was in gate number 2. So to get across and cut her off was always a big ask. She didn't quite make it happen, but Elise has ended up on the podium. She won't be disappointed with that one. Zoe's managed to pick up a second spot. Bethany takes the win. Molly Simpson coming so close to replicating what she did in 2021. But it's back to the drawing board for round 2 for Laura Smulders, but you'll never count her out.
Well, given her record that we were discussing earlier before the show, just how much Laura Smulders has won over her career and the amount of time she spent up there, it really does show you just how fast, how quick she is, and just how she is able to refocus. Just having a look at those fastest lap times there, Rich. You take a look at that, and you can just see the gap is there, and slightly bigger in that final in terms of the women's elite there being set down by Bethany.
Yeah, it's lap times. It's always a good indicator, but there's no more better indicator than being first across the finish line. But certainly the lap times have come down as we've gone through the day.
Well, we've had some great racing. Let's have a chat with our race winner. She's down. Let's hear her thoughts on the race.
Congratulations, Bethany. You look really exhausted. Can you take us through your race?
Yeah, it was a pretty good race day. Track's running good. YOLO'd it, went in gate 1 in the final there and had a good start. And yeah, managed to hold it all the way, so yeah, I'm really happy.
How about getting ready for Glasgow this year and the road to the Olympics? Can you tell me a little bit about this? This is a quite pretty good start of the season for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's obviously Olympic year or qualification year. So starting off well with some points. But yeah, I'm just really happy. Grateful for everyone's support, my team, my family, Bryn behind me. And yeah, what a great start to the season.
Happy to go to Glasgow?
Oh yeah, Glasgow's going to be good. You don't want to miss that.
Thanks a lot. Well done, thank you.
Well, we're definitely not going to miss it, and she definitely won't come barring, I think, alien abduction, because that was a very, very classy ride by her. She did just enough prior to the finals. She looked pretty good, but really pulled it out there, and almost at another level from her when she came into the final.
Yeah, it tickled me when Bethany said, you know, I YOLO'd it and went for lane 1. If you're going to YOLO it, you're going to YOLO it in a World Cup final. That was amazing. And Bethany, I think she's far too modest. I'm sure she knew what she was doing in lane number 1. No YOLOs needed, but we've got another final to come yet, so it's going to be even more excitement.
It is indeed. So we've completed our women's race. We have one more item for our riders to do before they are let loose. Let's get ready for our women's flower ceremony. Our riders are being prepped and readied for us to bring you the top 3 riders. So that is going to be Willoughby, Claessens and Shriver. Your 3, 2, 1 with America, Switzerland and the United Kingdom represented their great GB rider on top spot. So can we run over there? We almost want to, don't we, Rich? And give them a prop. We want to see the action, race action, but nice to be able to draw breath for 2 seconds on what has been a cracking round at number 1 so far, and full of incident. And we did wonder whether with the rain it was going to be a bit of a washout. It's dried out, and as it's dried out, it's hotted up. And these are the 3 riders who took the top 3 spots.
Yeah, Elise Willoughby, all smiles there after picking up yet another podium for the USA, coached by husband Sam. Zoe Claessens out of Switzerland, ever consistent former European champion. And she comes from a very, very long-standing BMX family. But your winner today, taking the top step of the podium, taking the winner's flowers. Out of Great Britain, your European and Olympic champion, it is Bethany Shriver. and all smiles and maximum points for round number 1.
So your top 3 at the UCI BMX Racing World Cup. Number 1 here in Sakarya in Turkey, complete for our women elite. They're going to go and get ready for round number 2. We're going to move on to the men's elite final.
Yep, looking at the start list, we've got Roman Mayu of France, Arthur Pilard, Nick Kimmen, Joris Dode, Simon Marquardt, the world champion, Leo Garoyan, the under-23 men world champion, Diego Arboleda, winner in round 1 of Glasgow last year, and also the little magician, Carlos Ramirez. And as we look at the riders on top of the hill, on the outside, gate number 8, he's going to wind up that horsepower. It is Nick Kimmen, your Olympic champion. Next to him, gate number 7 on the 278, double Olympic medalist, the little magician, the man who makes it happen in the corners, Carlos Ramirez. Leo Garoyan out of France, gate number 6 on that 20 plate, focused and ready to rock. And in gate number 5 on the 741, Diego Arboleda, more South American speed. Gate 4 on the 1 plate, the rainbow stripes, the world champion from Switzerland, Simon Marquardt. And on the 33 plate, out of France, back living in France now from the USA, but still going fast, it's Joris Dode. Next door to him on the 130 in gate number 2. Got a new bike sponsor coming into the World Cup season, it's Arthur Pilard. And on the inside, gate number 1, put on an absolute masterclass at Papendal last year. Can he make it happen again? It's Romain Mayu.
So our riders down on the gate. This is it, final race of round number 1. Who's going to walk away with top spot? Who will take away maximum points? The riders all want to go out from here with that winning smile. Who will be doing that? Will it be our world champion in those rainbow stripes?
As the gate dropped in the men elite final, there's enough watts to power a small city. And who's going to get the whole shot into turn number 1? Kimmen coming across from the outside, but he's left a little bit too much room. And Roman Mayu is winding it up, and he's out there in the lead. Nick Kimmen's trying to work his way in as well. Arboleda in there in 3, Joris Dode in 4. But Roman Mayu hanging on to it right now as they head down towards that final corner. He's looking good, he's in control. Arboleda might just be a bit too far away to make the move. So Roman Mayu, he did it last year in Papendal, he's done it this year in Turkey. Wire-to-wire win for the Frenchman. Joris Dode stealing that final position on the podium from Nick Kimmen. But what a lap from Roman Mayu.
He was absolutely imperious and a great start here and almost saw a crash on that ramp on the way down. But this was all about getting into this corner and Mayu taking this out. He was never going to be challenged surely by getting behind.
Well, it was tough because Roman Mayu actually over-jumped the double coming out of the first turn, so that would have cost him a little bit of momentum, but he had enough in the tank to take it down to the finish line. Dode had just stolen away that 3rd spot from Kimmen, but what he didn't see was Marquardt coming down the outside. Luckily, Marquardt wasn't quite close enough to steal a podium position away.
So here we go. This is the result for you. We have the top 3 confirmed as Romain Mathieu going through. Our Boris Spinner going through. Then it's Dode in 2nd and 3rd place. Kimmen, the man who's not going to be on the podium, and the world champion in 5th place. Ramirez coming late but not having enough either. And you can see the time gas there, very minimal, but we might be in the heart of the old Ottoman Empire, but it's more like a Roman emperor today. He was so far in front.
Yeah, Roman Mayu, he's got everything that you need to be a fantastic World Cup rider. He's got speed, he's got power, he's got skills. He's French, he ticks all the boxes. 32.626. If you look at the earlier rounds when we were posting 35.5-second laps and how much it's actually improved going into the final, and I'm expecting even better from them tomorrow. But Roman Mayu starting his World Cup season with a bang, ticking the box, getting the points. he'll be a very happy man tonight.
I'm sure he's going to be a very, very happy man and take lots of confidence from this. He's got the fastest lap time. He goes out. And remember, of course, the riders are riding not just for those points, for the qualification, for pride, and the fact that they all absolutely love racing, because if you didn't, you wouldn't throw yourself down that 8 meters ramp to start off with if you didn't absolutely love the racing. They're also racing for good prize money. And there is actually a bonus in the prize money structure this year for taking 2 wins in round 1 and round number 2, or 3 and 4 if it's in the same venue. So it's going to be really interesting between this round number 1 and round number 2. Will we see that extra bit of motivation come in? It's got to help.
Yeah, well, if there's some extra money for coffees at the end of the weekend, you never complain, do you?
Or in his case, it might be champagne. Come on, he's from France.
Well, that's very true.
Well, let's see what he's got to say. He's going to be down. Let's see if it's going to be champagne tonight.
Well done, Romain. You were in the lead quite early now in this race.
Yeah, it was actually tight down the first straight, elbow with a few fellows next to me. But overall, it was a great day. I think I ended up winning all my laps. Got the fastest time probably of the day. So first race of the year, first big race of the year, and starting off with a win is it's pretty good. It's hard to do better, so I'm pretty happy right now.
Yeah. If I'm right, I was told you were also doing a best lap time.
Yeah, well, I know in the summer I got the best lap time, so it makes sense that I still got it. But yeah, overall, really good day, so pretty happy.
Nice. There were a lot of French in this final, so can we say it's a French domination at the start and on the road to Glasgow this summer and to the Olympics?
Oh, I think we got used to it for the past 3 years, to see a lot of Frenchies in the main. World Cup, Worlds, it's always at least 3 or 4 of us, so it's good to have the team with so many people, but at the same time it's hard because you have to be the best out of everyone, and everyone is good. But yeah, we'll try to keep the French dominance the whole season until Paris 2024.
Few words in French for your home country. Justement, on passe en français vers la route sur Paris. Mais d'abord, avant tout, la course ici, ça s'est passé comment?
Ça s'est bien passé. J'ai gagné tous mes tours de qualif jusqu'à la finale. J'ai réussi toujours à pouvoir me positionner sur l'intérieur du départ, qui facilite beaucoup la course. Donc, gagner tous mes tours, le temps le plus rapide, victoire sur une Coupe du Monde, première course de l'année. Journée parfaite.
Pas mal de Français dans cette finale. Comment est-ce que le Team France se prépare en vue des échéances 2024 entre autres et Glasgow à plus courte échéance?
Le Team France, on se prépare ensemble, on fait des stages par-ci par-là. On a déjà été à Glasgow pour réparer la piste. Glasgow sera la course la plus importante de l'année. Donc là, on va continuer de monter en niveau. Aujourd'hui, il y avait 4 Français en finale. Peut-être qu'à Glasgow, on aura plus. Et voilà.
Félicitations.
Merci.
Tout bon.
Well, really interesting there, saying that he had the perfect race there in French, and also that the World Championships and the Olympics are so important for the French Federation, and they are right to be very, very happy with their dominance, but it wasn't a clean sweep for them.
No, it wasn't a clean sweep, but to have 2 in the top 3, you can't complain with that at the first round of the World Cup Series. But the French, they do have pretty much a production line of talent. I mean, you go to a French Cup round and there'll be at least 100 elite riders. The French are capable of fielding not 1 but 2 medal-capable Olympic squads. There's so much talent coming out of France, and as Romain just said, you've got to be the best of everyone, and that's the hard thing of it all. And if he can keep it going to Paris 2024, I certainly wouldn't count him out from winning a medal.
Definitely not a long way to go to Paris 2024, and it will be a slightly different track. There are a few changes to the 2018 World Cup track, but really looking forward to that journey. And that starts really here through qualification here in the BMX Racing World Cup. Really important for the qualification process, really important for the points, and really important for the riders to keep that race momentum. And of course, the part of that journey that ends all of our riders' days, if they're in the top 3, is that flower ceremony and the presentation to the spectators and to us, of course, of our top 3. So really looking forward to seeing what state they're in, because, of course, we're going to go on to round 2 next. Same track, maybe different weather, similar riders, but will it be the same result?
Well, that's a very, very tough one to call. You know, in BMX, I very rarely see the same result twice over 2 consecutive races. So I'm going to say no on that one, but I can guarantee whatever happens, Matt, we're going to have some serious racing action.
So let's catch up with our riders. And let's see our riders on that flower ceremony on the podium, ready to receive the congratulations of the crowd. And we're going to take a little bit of a sneaky look and see what state they're in, and quite who's got plenty more in the tank and who maybe gave it a little bit too much in this round. But recovery, these are the best in the world, and this is what they do. And boy, do they do it well. And they've shown that today.
They definitely have shown it today. You know, to be a medal-worthy World Cup or World Championship rider, you've got to have all the boxes ticked.
You have indeed got to have all the boxes ticked, and these are your 3 who ticked all of those boxes. 3rd place today.
Yeah, 3rd place today. He's aging like a fine French wine. It is Joris Daudet out of France. Congratulations for Diego Arboleda. A quick shake of hands as he comes to the podium. Diego already experienced winning a World Cup round in 2022, so he'll be happy with another podium. But the man with the biggest smile in World Cup BMX racing here today, Romain Meilloux from France, opening his account in the best way possible. He's going to be a happy man tonight. And we never got to the champagne question, did we?
We didn't. Well, I can guarantee by the end of the weekend there's got to be some disappearing. And we talk about the French with fine wine and champagne, but do you know what? They deserve it. Let's face it, they have done an amazing job here in Sakarya, and amazing to see just how good the racing was. Now, I've got to say, it's been an absolute pleasure putting words to the action here with Rich. So let's have a little bit of a think. We are going to be going on to round number 2. So remember, round 2 going to be really exciting, and looking forward to that. And I think we're going to see more of the same.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see more of the same. We're going to see more thrills, more spills, more action, more moves in turns, and just the best that BMX racing can offer.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. And don't forget, of course, get in touch. Rich, where can we find you?
The easiest place to find me on Instagram is at BMX Commentator.
And don't forget, you can find me on social media. It's at Matt Fix a Pain. It's been an absolute pleasure putting words to the action. We're going to see you in round number 2. But in the meantime, stay safe. We'll see you again soon.
Goodbye.